Thank you for being here this morning, or for the morning host, thank you for skipping dinner to be here. We promised to be mildly entertaining and very quick. They gave us 30 minutes. The good news is they're all really smart people. The bad news is your bosses recruited me to tell you they're never giving you a raise and you gotta find a new job to pay your bills. So, right? That's mine works. Does mine work? We don't know, we didn't test this. Everyone up here has done something a little different for a side hustle, right? So we'll start, you can read all their bios on the app. I think you know they're all radio people, right? So what we know we can do, we pulled our heads together and we're like, what do we all know that everyone probably knows you can do as a side hustle, right? You can be a blogger, a wedding DJ, you can do car sit. There's a million things that we all know a ton of radio people do. Most of us up here have done one or more of these things. You probably have two, right? A little extra cash, vacation money. But in the spirit of fairness and entertainment, we also decided to figure out what we know we can't do, right? We know that most skills in radio transfer if you know how to word them correctly. But the things we determined we can't do, helicopter tree trimmer, probably nothing applicable. A grave digger. My favorite, Anthony swears is a real job, is a chicken sexer. Looked it up, none of my radio skills apply to that. So these are the things we've determined we can't do. Outside of those two extremes, what are the things that maybe you've never thought about your radio skills transfer? So that's what these three lovely folks are going to talk to you about today. We're going to start with Anthony, who, you know, I think is going to have a great story in general, right?
Yeah. I mean, I DJ weddings and all this stuff like that, but the biggest one that I do is brand ambassadoring and influencing on social media. It's so much fun. If you follow me, I do a ton of stuff with my daughter. Not only is it cool to kind of make some extra side cash, but to have some memories with her, and down the road she'll be able to watch all those videos, and it's just a blast. So that's my daughter right there, top right. She's a 3-year-old little princess, football-loving kid. We partnered up with a brand called TCL, and they're the official NFL, or the official TV sponsor of the NFL, and I'll tell you guys a little bit later about what we do, but that's a 98-inch TV that we got to give away on social media. I was able to go to the Super Bowl, bottom left right there, and do some content with that brand. And then my daughter also gets me into the TCL suite at SoFi Stadium for any football game or concert.
And he's also a brand new papa, again. So do we know yet what we're going to have your son doing?
Not yet. I thought let him learn how to eat and do the normal stuff, and then we'll make some money off of him.
Okay. Give him a couple weeks, I guess. That's fair. So let's talk really quickly about what skills, because we'll also talk to you about language, right? We all have our own language in radio. Words that people outside of us don't know. How do you take those words and make them understandable so that people will understand what your skill set is for a job that doesn't apply to radio?
I'll say this, the biggest thing that I took from radio is storytelling. When you get on the air, boom, you crack the mic, the first thing you want to do is get that info out. You want to be quick, you don't want to drag everything along. So I took that and took it to social media. Same thing, nobody wants to sit and watch your video for 10, 12 seconds until you get to the meat. You got to just get there quick. So taking that from radio and transferring that to socials, I mean, I've seen a huge up in engagement and everything else. So that really prepared me to do some good on socials.
And how has that come back and helped your actual radio job? Have you taken anything away and brought it home?
Gosh, I have. It's been great because we partner with all these brands and they put their content on, or your content on their page, and all of a sudden you have thousands more people now coming to your page. And I always hope they'll kind of look at my bio and everything and think, oh, K-Frog and radio, and hopefully we'll introduce them to listen to our station a little bit more. We also did we did something with the NFL draft with TCL, and the agency that we worked with gave us something called a workback schedule, and they listed everything that they wanted to see and what date it had to be done. And I thought, man, this is so cool because you're working ahead. And I took that, made a replica, and did it for Stagecoach and brought it to my team. And I was like, look, you guys, what ideas are we going to do? When are we going to post it? This way we're not overlapping. And it really was a more clear-cut event that we've ever done. And we had so much great content. We were ready to go before the festival even started.
Fantastic. So you've learned organizational skills outside of radio?
Yeah.
That's
yeah, big time,
okay.
I know.
Wow. Time? Budgeting? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Neat. Could you tell us about, obviously it's a pretty big win to go to the Super Bowl. It's a pretty big win for Reese to get you into things. But what are have there been financial gains? What are the big wins for you in this?
Yeah, there have. So I live in California, which everyone knows is not very cheap to live in. My wife had a great government job, excellent benefits, and it was a very good second income. Well, due to the radio DJ stuff and the social media stuff, she was able to quit and now stay at home full time with our kids. So it's bringing almost, I mean, each year it gets bigger, but it's close to a second income to where now she's home, she's less stressed, it's less stress on me having to get the kids ready and all that. So it really, that's always my favorite part to tell, is that now mom is home all the time and we're good with money.
Well, and you mentioned, it builds, right? Nothing starts big. What would you say if someone were going to start any side hustle? How long did it take you to go, okay, this is going to be worth it?
Gosh, I feel like mine's a different story because I bought these little mini helmets, the football helmets, which I think, is on the slide. So if you follow me on socials, my daughter does these videos where I put is that a video or just a still shot?
We'll see if it'll play. We don't know.
Football time. Charger.
So we put every week we'll put the matchups in front of her, and she basically predicts the winner. And you have so many different people that are interested. You have football fans because they want to see who she's picking. You have the parents who had little kids at one point, and it brings them back, and they just love seeing the toddler do this. And she says the silliest things, and it's just so much fun to watch. So, sorry, I was watching my dog. What was the question? I don't even know what we were talking about. I was like, wait a minute, Colts, Reese, are you sure?
Yes, she's short. Reese is short up the Colts, guys. Next year's our year. How long did it take to know it was worth it?
So I bought these helmets, and I thought, this would be cute for her to just kind of learn colors and logos and this and that. And all of a sudden, she did that. She would grab one and chuck it, and then in my mind, it just clicked. I'm like, wait, we might be able to do something here. So I mean, right off the bat, it worked, and it was just, it was successful from the first moment we did it. But I will say, with other things I've done, it's just consistency. If something's not working and you're getting 20 likes or 40 views, whatever it is, it's new to everybody. Just like radio, you have to say something how many times until somebody actually hears it. So continue to post, don't give up, just keep rolling with it. And what's even better is if you're having fun doing it, it's a lot easier. Don't try and force anything.
Yeah. And guys, if you have questions, we'll take them at the end if we have time. Some of us are going to get out of here on time, Jesse. So we'll see. But send them in, and they're moderating questions for any of these guys as we go through. Last one, you kind of talked on it happened organically, right? I think that speaks to what a lot of the panels have told you guys this week is you have to be observant, right? You didn't do this to create a social media brand and make Reese an influencer. It just happened.
It just happened. I had no plans of putting a camera on her and doing this. Like I said, it was just my way of teaching her, okay, look, Packers, yellow, and stuff like that, and dolphin. So it was basically just kind of a learning tool. I love football. I wanted to pass that down to her, and then she was just cute right off the bat. And when I saw her grab that first helmet and chuck it, it's like I already saw these videos happening. I thought, well, wait a minute, something's here, and there we are, year 3.
And so that's what we're going to talk to all of these guys about. Is yes, it's organic, but it's also something they enjoy and they're passionate about. And we already do so many jobs every day that if you're gonna have to make money because none of us are getting our oil changed regularly, you better be doing a side hustle that you appreciate and that you enjoy and that's fun. So, Carson has done everything, like most of us, but what we want to talk about today is some of her vintage, reselling, thrifting, fun stuff.
Yeah, that I, have done a myriad of jobs in order to survive in this industry. Many years ago, I was a promo girl for 5 Hour Energy after I got off the morning show. But now, one of my passions is vintage t-shirts and vintage sweatshirts, and my collection is like 1,200, and it's too much, and it takes up a lot of room in my 800 square foot condo. So, not everybody needs 7 Oak Boys t-shirts. So I decided to part with things like that, and so I get on eBay, I get on Poshmark, and I understand maybe you don't have an overflowing closet right now, but chances are you have something in your closet that you don't need. You have something in your garage. Everybody's about minimalizing and paring down, and that's what Facebook Marketplace is for. That's what eBay is for. Again, Poshmark, Mercari. And if you can get on those with things that you already have, because part of the side hustle to me, this panel, is not about, hey, here's how to start a new job that's gonna take a while. If you need money now, if you need to pay rent, if you had a medical bill come up that you haven't met your deductible yet, because it's only February. So you wanna see, how can I get what I've got to work for me? And if you have those kind of things in your house, you guys know how to talk to people, and whether it is making a video, eBay will let you post videos. You are probably gonna be more engaging than the average bear, because you already know how to talk. You know how to talk to people that you can't see. So you do that. Then when you're describing an item, you know word economy, but you also know you have to throw in everything, because if you didn't read that promo with the disclaimer right, somebody's coming after your station. You do the same thing if you're posting on Facebook Marketplace. Here's every spec I can give you. You guys are already above average at that. We're above average at that. So it's a way to hopefully get that extra income generated quickly. That's the whole idea for me. It's with a side hustle. Now, if you need it for medical bills, or in my case, you have a really expensive concert ticket habit, hopefully it will help you to get that money in a much quicker way.
Yeah, and full disclosure, we're human best friends. We do this for fun as well. So her brother, also in radio, also kind of took this to the next level. So I want to touch really quickly on John, because I think the platform he's using would really appeal to radio people. Again, look, I've got totes and totes of Garth stuff. Am I selling it? No, please don't ask. But should I ever need to, I still won't. But this app would be cool, because as radio people, we would really excel there, and John has.
Yeah, there's an app that's come up in the last 2 years, and it's called Whatnot. And it's video auctions, and it's live auctions. So what we've done, because I've actually done it with him, you get on and you show whatever it is. There are people who sell Pokemon cards, there are some people who will sell you Louis Vuitton bags, and then there's people like me who will sell you t-shirts. And they get up, they tell you about the shirt, they show it, and then they run an auction for 60 seconds, and people bid it up. And you can make some really quick money, and the app itself, I'm not necessarily advocating it, I've just seen the positives, that they verify all the people that buy from you. They take that money, they let you know if the money didn't go through, so you're not waiting. Because if y'all have tried to sell on Facebook Marketplace, I'm like, is this still available? And then they ghost you. It's pretty immediate income, and you do have that added skill of being able to talk and probably being engaging, which a lot of these guys aren't. Please don't sit there with your vape pen, because that's what, like, you're sitting around vintage t-shirts with a vape pen, I want to throttle them. But that being said, you do have this skill set that will connect to video, that will make you engaging, and people will just watch your channel because they find you amusing. They can actually pay you, that you don't have to sell them something, they just like your content. We've seen that on all other forms of social media, and that's another way to get this done. And my brother actually went viral because the people at Whatnot said, you seem to know how to do this. Yeah, I'm in radio. And they had to make a commercial, and last count, it had 5 million views. People were sending it to me going, is this your brother? Yes, it's the long-haired kid. Yeah, I get it. And that's the point, that it got him to a whole new audience of people on Facebook, on Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it. But people on Insta were seeing it, and that's a way, like you were talking about, opening up people who may not know your station. You've brought them over, and so it's a way to kind of combine the two and hopefully increase the audience on both.
Yeah, and I mean, Carson, I know you do, like you said, tons of side hustles, you do voiceover work, but what, in this particular realm, have you brought back to radio? What are you able to apply?
Well, for me, because I'm on the air, I talk a lot about the vintage t-shirts, and it's engaging to some people who are like, wait, those old shirts might be worth money, because we all like the idea of a treasure hunt, if you look at it that way. So we've had listeners call up, Patrick can tell you in the back there, that we had listeners send me a Journey t-shirt from 1983. And I was like, cool, because this retails for about $70 at your average vintage store. So, and listeners really, and then they'll send it to me. The engagement has been great of, hey girl, I thought of you, I'm at Goodwill, what would this be worth? It's an added way for them to connect with you on a level that is beyond just hearing you on the air, or even, hey, I love your show. It's a way for them to be able to talk to you that's outside of their world of thinking, hey, I'm just a fan. It's like, no, I have a reason now. So it's been really beneficial, and it adds to the dynamic of a personality for me, that if somebody says, oh, I hear Carson on Big D and Bubba, what's she about? Oh, she's that girl who likes vintage t-shirts. All right, it gives them a little bit extra about me.
Yeah, and as far as, I mean, again, we've done this together. So aside from, paying for a lot of concert tickets and a trip to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, what have been the kind of gains for you financially? Does this supplement something? Does this increase?
Y'all, I don't mean to brag, but I have a savings account. Thank you, yep. So that a big win for that. So, but and it sounds so silly, but I don't want to speak for all of you in the room, but I remember being in this business in 2008 when suddenly they cut nights and we want you to voice track an hour a day. And by the way, we pay you minimum wage. And you're so hungry to stay in this business. You're hanging on by your fingertips. We've all done it. And you had to take whatever other job. And then something goes wrong with the car. And then something goes wrong with the house. Do you know water heaters don't last forever? Found that one out. And you are, oh my gosh, will my credit support that new AC unit? And having just the side hustles, just having that security, it's nice when this happened 3 months ago, my car had to go in and boy, that was a 4-figure bill I wasn't expecting. And I can complain about it, Monta heard me complain about it a lot, and I'd say, but at least I have the money. At least I have it. It's nice to not be in that panic situation that hopefully you've never been in it, but I'm going to assume a lot of us have been in it at least once in our lives in this career.
Absolutely. Do I have enough money to put gas in the tank to get to the next job interview? Like,
Yeah.
we've all been there. It's true because our bosses told me they're not going to pay us anymore. So, last kind of thing, like if, again, with Anthony, like, it's passion. It's something you're doing, you enjoy it, you have way too many anyway. We're still buying them anyway. So,
Yes, if anybody knows of any estate sales or yard sales, I am your girl. I would love early entrance.
yeah, we love dead people stuff. So, what would be your advice to someone who's looking for that way to figure out how to start a savings account?
Yeah, and if it's something in this realm, my recommendation to you, what I also like about this is very little overhead. You will perhaps, if you are going to sell your clothes on Poshmark, you're going to have to buy envelopes. You may have to buy labels for a printer. Do you have a printer? I don't know. I use Big D and Bubba's. But if you have one at the office you can use after hours, I'm just saying if they pay for the ink. But that's the kind of thing is, for me, it was a really easy upstart and selling with things that I already had, so I didn't have to go put out a lot of money, that if you can get it done. Because if we're talking about side hustles and you're having a problem paying rent, I'm not going to tell you, like, voiceover work. You have to go out and buy a microphone or a computer and soundproof. I'm not going to tell you to do something that's going to take you $500 to get invested in. This is hopefully $50, and you can make a little bit of that side cash that will then balloon.
And, to that point, as you get better at it, there are opportunities because you are radio people, because you are presenters. Maybe it's not your stuff. Maybe you're making commission going around to these estate sales and helping them do videos and put their things on eBay.
Also, when you tell those estate sale people you work in radio, you know what they all do? They all have radios. When they're listening, then because that's their entertainment for the day. I'm telling you, they all have on local radio. And so when you tell them which station you're with, you've now made a loyal listener who's going to have you on for the 8 hours, 3 days that they're sitting in that dead person's house.
Yes. Big advocate for dead people.
Yeah, but it's a lot of foot traffic too, that will hear you.
Yeah.
Right? Because, when I tell you there are people hungry to get stuff cheap. It's another promotional tool.
So Karina has also done multiple things for side hustles and extra income and third, fourth, and fifth jobs because you were not only in radio, but you were a college student in radio.
Yes, I was.
But now you have found something that is a passion, that you still work in our industry, but this has become a second career even, instead of just a side hustle.
Yeah, so long story short, I actually had to leave radio because I was a PD in San Francisco making no money. So I was like, I can't afford to live here anymore, and I started working in the radio side of research, like research radio side. So now I'm like the consultant telling you how to make your life better in radio. But I am also a travel agent on the side because your girl likes to travel. So on our honeymoon, we went to Greece, which was fun. I've sent people to Switzerland, to Prague, to Hawaii, and of course, Disneyland. And that's just little things that we do. I got Rookie of the Year this year at the travel agency that I'm in. And like Carson said, it took little to no money to start this. I found an agency that is not a pyramid scheme. And they didn't charge me anything to join them. In fact, I fell into this industry. My husband is going blind, and he is on a visual bucket list journey, and he wanted to go on a cruise. So one of our friends said, reach out to my friend who's a travel agent, maybe she can help you out. And she said, why don't you join the industry? You get a free cruise when you finish the training.
Wait, is this like timeshare thing? Like you go and
No, you literally just go because they want you to sell the cruise.
Great.
So I did that Princess Cruise training, and we go into Alaska next year. So, it's things like that you do get little benefits, but it's also nice when you get a paycheck next month. And I also have a savings account.
Wow. Woo! So with this, again, you love to travel. You kind of know what someone is looking for. What other skills from radio are you bringing into this that you are applying? Some of your big radio words that you're now using on the commoners.
Yeah, a lot of it, we're all doing it social media, right? I need to advertise my business and get these people to trust me. Like, your listeners trust you, right? You open that mic every day, you tell them your story, they think they know you. Some of my clients are my listeners, my former listeners, and now they're paying my bills, which is kind of nice. Organization is a really big one, because I'm managing numerous clients, both at my day job.
Learned that.
You did. Managing clients at my day job and my side hustle. I gotta know who's doing what, who's going where, and in radio, some of you are doing 5 different jobs. You're the PD, you're the production director, you're also the music director, you got 10 million promos going on, maybe. Like, you need to know when everything is happening. And the organization has been a really big thing for me. I'm using a planner daily now. I've got Excel spreadsheets galore, and yes, I'm a nerd, so that also helps.
Nerd is cool. Yeah, it's fine. But, I think most of us can speak to this too. It started, again, as a passion, but can you talk a little bit about timing? So, radio, right? You might do a morning show and then you got your afternoons free. You might be an overnight person. We don't still have this. You might be, but most of these side hustles are things that don't require you to clock in, clock out, have a certain, so how has that benefited you?
It's nice, because I work Central Time, 7 a.m. to 3:30. So 3:30 to 5:30, I'm working on booking trips for clients, sometimes holding meetings with these clients to figure out where they want to go, what they want to do, try to get their dream vacation sold. And it's 2 hours out of my day at most, and occasionally, and they know that I work a full-time job till 3:30, and so they wait and they call me, and if it's an emergency, they'll call me if they need to, and I'll step away. Luckily, I work from home, so I can do these things. But it doesn't take a lot of time. And there's weeks that I don't do anything. But, I've scheduled posts, which we've all done on Facebook, and those have gotten interaction, which is nice.
So, again, you talked about organization. What else have you brought back besides a free cruise, which I'm really intrigued by right now, honestly? Didn't know that was an option. What else are you bringing back into your radio job or radio adjacent job, as it were?
Honestly, I've learned that I love a challenge. And I feel like finding the perfect place for these people has helped me realize that. Sometimes I feel like I'm getting bored at my day job, and I'm like, why am I getting bored? And I'm like, oh, I need things to do. And so I've gone and talked to my boss and said, hey, you know what? I would like more things that I can get involved with. I want to do public speaking. I want to do this. I want to do that. And that's been really helpful. And of course, having the radio background has helped as well.
Excellent. So, some things that we brainstormed together as a panel, things that maybe you didn't know, didn't think about, that your radio skills could apply to. And if this is your passion, again, we advocate for finding something that is your passion. If you're going to spend extra hours a day, please have fun. Please. Please. So, sommelier, tour guide, poker dealer. I don't know, I was a wedding planner before I came to radio, so I promise it all transfers. If you have questions, ask me. People are also crazy, but that's beside the point. I know multiple people in our industry who are now certified mental health counselors, therapists, teachers. Carson and I have both done customer service via phone. I've sold Band-Aids over the phone. That's a real job. Don't do it. Government. There are so many things that you're not thinking about because we have our words that we use that no one else uses. And when you go into a job and you talk to them about Cube, they just look at you with their eyes glazed over. It doesn't pertain to them. So it's also about, if you have questions for any of us, please, let us help you mold your words so that you can take those skills and turn your passion into some extra money. Jesse, do we have any questions? If not, please.
Not yet.
Great.
First one in gets it asked. First question, we do have a question I do know. This one comes from Monta V.
Oh,
Weird.
Fantastic.
Where do I sign up for the free cruise?
Yes, that is the first
Just
question.
talk to me after this.
Okay, great, great. I thought we had questions because in full disclosure, Jesse was texting me in the middle of the panel. No, and
I was.
he was.
Just telling her how great of a job she's doing. Can we hear from Monta, by the way? All of it. All of it.
While we're waiting on questions, again, if you have questions, feel free. If not, we will wrap up soon because we like to be on time. But you guys, talking about the words and the verbiage we use in this industry, again, I came to radio after a whole career in wedding planning, and I walked around with a notebook, writing things down and going home and Googling them because we have a different language. How do you translate that? Is there anything that you've been able to go, oh, in this world they say da-da-da-da?
Put us on the spot.
Yeah. I ask the hard questions in the mornings.
What else you got?
Okay. It does all translate. Last year, if you were here, we had a great panel with Dan Mason, who was talking about just getting the hell out of radio. And he specializes in redoing your resume to get the hell out of radio. So when I tell you all the verbiage translates, you just have to think about it. It really does. Marketing words, I've Googled to translate, because I now know radio so well, I don't know how tech companies speak. I am not fluent in, all of the, I don't know how to use apps. Don't ask me to do things like that. So it's making sure you're speaking the same language as much as
Well,
I
also
can.
numbers really translate. So I found on my resume that even though you may not be in radio, but I tell you, I organized our station festival, and by my brainstorm, my marketing of it, that it was the most financially successful one in 10 years, and here's the amount we made, $500,000. $500,000 is going to translate to any company. They don't care if it's radio or not. So if you can break down, people really respond to numbers. They respond to percentages. So even things like, oh, we increased productivity by X amount. And that might mean that, yeah, I figured out a way to get part-timers on my station, but they don't need to know the ins and outs of it. It's all about kind of zhuzhing up the verbiage and maybe tailoring it to whoever else is going to be looking at that resume.
Right. I mean, again, using things like TSL, nobody outside of us knows what that is, but if you tell them you increased daily listening by 20%, you don't need to use our words to explain to people.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're a program director, don't put program director on there. Nobody knows what it is. Put you were a manager and you managed a staff and you gave constructive criticism, things like that. Nobody knows what an air check is, so you can't say I gave air checks weekly. Constructive criticism to my staff, I managed a full staff, things like that are going to translate to other positions.
Jesse made up a new question for us.
Yep, 2 questions have come in. Is there any money in 3XL t-shirts? Asking for a friend, Patrick Thomas.
Okay, fat man. And I only say that because he calls himself that. I can only say that because we're friends. No, okay, so y'all, if y'all are bigger, sell your shirts. People are always on the hunt for big t-shirts. Also, if any of y'all were wrestling fans back in the day, WWF, if you're still sitting on Stone Cold, oh my gosh. Talk to me afterwards because I can get you money.
Okay, this is a real question. Have you ever encountered a conflict with your station when getting your own side gigs who want to share in the profit?
Not a big deal, but it kind of has come up, and we've had discussions about it. And the way I kind of do things now, when I reach out to brands to work with, whether it be trying to get products or money, whatever it is, if they express interest, then I will then say, hey, I'm also a radio DJ. How would you like to advertise on our station? So I put that out there. Sometimes it's a yes, I'm interested. Please send me more info. Sometimes it's a no, just want to work with you. We'll give you this product in exchange for a video. So it is kind of it is kind of awkward sometimes when you're just over here like raking in money, and then the company you work for, it's like, okay, wait, they pay the bills, like you still need to include them somehow. So anything that comes into me, I'll send it right over to my sales manager, and he'll give it to an AE, and they'll reach out. And again, like I said, either yes, we'll try it, or no, thank you. So.
Yeah, and I think it's about transparency and honesty, right? You didn't hide what you were doing. Obviously, it went viral, so you weren't hiding it anyway. But, you know, I think all of our bosses, to certain degrees, know what we're doing. Ask us questions about it, or take an interest. Patrick wants to know, you know, like, can you sell us stuff? Like, there are things that you can do to make sure that you are open. You don't have to disclose that you're now making more money selling t-shirts than you are at your job, but to just be honest. I don't think it's good to hide what you're doing, and again, they've all told us that you have to do these jobs now anyway, so, you know. Any final thoughts, guys? Things that you want to share about why this is important to focus on passion instead of just going, because again, we all have other side hustles, right? Again, Carson does voiceover work, wedding DJ, like there's tons of stuff that we do to make a little extra money to get the oil changed regularly, but these are the things that are profitable because we love them.
I would just say whatever it is, just make sure you're having fun doing it, because if you're sitting there, just sitting at the kitchen table, just pounding your fist and you're mad that you can't figure out, why can't I make more money? That's just think of stuff you love doing, stuff that you love watching, and translate whatever character you have on air to socials. If you want to go that social media route, I'm the new dad who's figuring out, you know, life with a daughter and a brand new son. And I take a lot of that and put it on socials. I sit at a little table with my daughter. We just have a conversation. And again, in turn, I take that audio and play it on my radio show. So everything is hand in hand. It helps build my show and then helps build the social presence also.
Yeah. If you have questions for any of us, you can find us after.
Can I say one
Yes.
thing? Only because this is a CRS related, and I know I've talked a lot about thrifting, and happy to talk with you about that. But also, as Mons mentioned, I do voice work, and it was 3 years ago at CRS that a girl chased me down the hallway because we follow each other on Instagram. And she had just gotten into voice work, and she's killing the game if you don't know who Morgan Taylor is. Morgan is who got me into voice work. And so I believe in paying it forward. If you have any questions, please feel to reach out. I'm on the app afterwards. That everything that she told me, she's who got me in. There's more than enough success to go around. So, and I think all of us feel that way. And that's what CRS is all about. So whatever the side hustle is that you're interested in, I know we are more than happy to do that.
Yes.
Awesome job. Let's hear it for our panel. Just a quick announcement, we have our BNLG lunch starting here. A great lineup that starts at noon. Followed by Cycle of the Song with Dasha this afternoon at 2. And Eric Church and Jelly Roll, the conversation, that's at 3. So that's all coming up. Thank you.